So today we're going to be tucking some fabric using the Fabricmate track system. These are the tools we'll be using. I use just your regular Home Depot scissors. I don't use the fancy fabric scissors because they'll get misplaced or dropped, and I'd rather just replace these more often. They're cheap enough, so that's that. This is the Fabricmate rocker tool. You can see it has a pointy edge so that you can really get into those corners, especially when you're, for example, this is hard to film, but when you're up here, you want to get to the very edge. You can see that. So some people only use this. They don't use the other tools. Just this will do it all. So if you have to buy one thing, just use the Fabricmate rocker tool. This is the fancy fabric roller. It looks like a pizza cutter, but it's not as sharp, and it has a pretty good bearing in there. So this one basically just glides in there, and I use this just for finishing, especially on fabrics that don't have patterns. Like if it's a solid color like this, then you can go to town with this and it'll speed up the process. But this is also a more expensive tool. And then this is for the hard reach corners. I rarely ever use this. You would basically use it on those harder reach places. Okay. My client gets this fabric for a really good price, and it's not really meant to be used with this track system, but it's also a really good fabric for acoustic treatment because this is hard to film, but if you look, it's very breathable. You can see the light right there. Very thin woven, and it's also very stretchy. So I'm going to try to tension it pretty evenly on the channel so that it doesn't overstretch in certain areas. Alright, so I'm going to start with the first section of fabric. I'm going to leave about 2 inches sticking out of the channel, and we'll go from there. I'm going to do the sides first, actually. So I'm using the factory edge as a guide. Again, this fabric is really stretchy, so it's kind of hard to get this going. Corners I like to cut really close so we don't have shit sticking out. Here you can kind of see how it's working. So that's where we're at so far. Nice clean edge, and I haven't even used the roller yet. Now, since this fabric is so stretchy, it's kind of very forgiving. I'm gonna make up all those wrinkles you see. They're very subtle, but they're there. That's gonna go away when I tuck the bottom. The bottom, I'm gonna start from the middle and work my way outwards so that it's properly tensioned. So I'm applying tension with my hand. The other side. You can see how stretchy this fabric is. It gives you those wrinkles, but they go away. You just gotta kind of work the fabric in there. See that? Looking pretty good. We're going to cut out the receptacle eventually. Very carefully to do that. And we're going to use the roller now to kind of finish it off. All right, here's where we're at so far in this room. You can see we tucked some fabric today. Got a dimmer in.